from home culture is a career killer for women. And let me explain to you why. Remembering that I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women that work for me. Now, what is happening is that we talk about all of this sort of upside of Zoom culture, but none of the rigidity of it. And no one will really tell you. But careers require proximity and visibility. You want a pay rise? You want the next promotion? You want the big corner office? Guess what? You need to be there. You might not want to hear it, because it might be comfortable in your living room, but the facts are the facts. And
So I actually do agree with her, but my take is slightly nuanced. It depends on the company. Like, is it a company that's primarily remote? Then that advice necessarily doesn't work as far as going into an office if they don't really have a main location or if there's no hubs in your area. But in order to be promoted, you do need to be visible, whether you're remote, hybrid, or on site, being visible. And remotely, I think that hasn't been talked about enough because it's kind of different. And how are you being visible? So for me, I'll go back to when I was working at Optus. The way that I was being visible was on our weekly calls or our handoffs, or any call that we had to do with a client. I was making sure I was speaking up. I was trying to go do anything that were processed or anything that needed to be fixed or something like that. I was showing my face, and all that actually led to me going to fly to the client in California because they wanted to meet me personally. This also led to me getting bigger than normal merit increases and also internal promotions just based on my work ethic and, like I said, good work. So I do agree with the visibility part. Now, in traditional senses of people going into the office, definitely being in proximity and talking to everybody is going to be like a major key there. And knowing who's who, like having somebody to, I guess the word sponsor, like the certain people, if they know who you are, they can bring your names up in certain rooms. And that's how you can move around. So it's actually easier to probably get promoted at a company that's more hybrid or on-site based versus a remote one. So she actually has a good point here.
not here to sugarcoat information or to load
So
women
you
up
almost
with
feel
toxic
like it's a way
positivity.
to also, I don't want to say push us out, but it's almost slowly a way to be like, you're not needed, or you don't really, it's not there's no urgency because you're away.
It's eroding the potential for women to be successful.
Interesting.
Period. End off. Your boss won't tell you that because they're not allowed to tell you. The way we have built human resource culture in this country and the rest of the Western world is that no one can have that conversation with you. But the truth is the truth. It just is. If you're not there, if you're not in the room, there is going to be somebody else that is. And guess what? Like, they will get that opportunity over you. This is not about like whether or not these things are true or properly understood or whether they're right, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because I know that for some people, they're like, but wait a minute, I need this flexibility. The way that we all come into work now is that, and I run organizations.
So I don't know what the metrics are for women. And matter of fact, while she's talking, let me see if I can find any answers on that. Let's see. Has remote work hindered women from getting promoted? I'm looking it up right now. Let's see what we got. Okay, so Forbes got a couple of articles, like AI sourced some stuff. And it said remote work has hindered promotion for many women, largely due to proximity bias, where managers favor in-office employees for advancement while providing flexibility. Remote work often reduces access to mentorship and high visibility projects, causing women to be passed over for promotions more frequently than in-office peers. So I'm not going to minimize the women part because I'm not a woman, but I would also like to interject. I think it's just in general for anybody that may be working remote, where they're remote, but everybody else is in office. But yeah, so it says key impacts are like remote workers are 31% less likely to get promoted than in-office peers, with women particularly affected due to less mentorship. Women often utilize remote options for caregiving, but face reduced career advancement opportunities as a result. And the gender gap. Studies show that among remote workers, women are promoted less often than men, with some data showing that 37% of women working remotely were promoted compared to 49% of men with similar arrangements. Now that's interesting. I don't know exactly how to fight that, but maybe I will get a chance to do a deep dive on some of that information. But coming back here too, we have to also throw this out here. Do we believe everybody wants to be promoted? I know a lot of people who work remotely, they like the flexibility and they're just happy they got a steady check and it allows them to do what they have to do for their family or whatever. So I think that's also a place too. But I do think if it's for a career driven woman, then they definitely need to be very strategic on if they're working remote, how do they promote? Or like sometimes you may have to go to a different organization because of the lack of promotions that you may get. And you could be a top performer. You possibly can be on the cusp of getting exceed expectations on your review. But let's let her finish up her points.
That are very flexible. Nobody misses things that they need to do, a dentist appointment, an appointment with their kids, because they have to be in work from this hour to this hour. There's a level of flexibility that's assumed in the workplace right now. But I think it's a little bit like this idea that we've built for ourselves that you can listen your way to success. Like if I just stack all these podcasts, like I'm going to get really successful. No, ambition has to find you working, and work is just work.
I agree. Now I don't listen to, I guess that's a new podcast that Kiki Palmer has. So I don't really listen to like a ton of things she has. I know I saw it was like an uproar for like a lot of different Black women were getting upset with what she said. If y'all want to send me the link or something to that, maybe we can play it. But for the most part, I don't too much really disagree with what she said. So yeah, I definitely think she was on the money. Let's see what some of the